Never know what was left in their future. If only someone could have gotten there sooner. They had thoughts and feelings, a few dreams, a few things they wanted to go see. But a bad day became a bad month, and then a bad year without anyone. No one noticed all the little changes. The happiness fades while the pain replaces. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I know mistakes were made and they all hurt today, but time will help them fade away. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You got a life ahead of you, and times get better too. You need a better view. Can you trust that you were made of light from the dust that came from starry nights? Can you love that you were made just right? You were made to fly. You can save a life. You can save a life. Feel the hurt erase, a new star shines in a moonless night, a new scar finds somewhere dark to hide, but that won't be you. It's not your time, you got a whole life to find while you're here alive. Yeah, each day is a new day, never the same, so get through. You can do this, choose to stay, okay? Don't take your life for granted. This whole universe dead, but you on this planet. I know life can feel like it's hard to manage, but this life is a gift, like a tree was planted. And this world needs you, and I need you too. So please push through, do what you need to do. I'll always be right here through the day and night, whether it's physical or not, know I'm by your side, yeah. I wish you would step back from that edge, my friend. I know mistakes were made and they all hurt today, but time will help them fade away. I wish you would step back from that edge, my friend. You got a life ahead of you, and times get better too. You need a better view. Can you trust that you were made of light from the dust that came from starry nights? Can you love that you were made just right? You were made to fly. You can save my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. Can you trust that you were made of light from the dust that came from starry nights? Can you love that you were made just right? You were made to fly. You can save a life. You can save a life. Step back from that ledge, my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You never know what was left in their future. If only someone could have gotten there sooner. They had thoughts and feelings, a few dreams, a few things they wanted to go see. But a bad day became a bad month, and then a bad year without anyone. No one noticed all the little changes. The happiness fades while the pain replaces. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. I know mistakes were made and they all hurt today, but time will help them fade away. I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. You got a life ahead of you, and times get better too. You need a better view. Can you trust that you were made of light from the dust that came from starry nights? Can you love that you were made just right? You were made to fly. You can save a life. You can save a life.
Yo, can everybody hear me? We are back, people. It's been a while. Today's the third day if I didn't catch the stream today. The stream must go on. Sorry about the lapse in content, everybody. I've been busy. But also planning on doing a playthrough of, I've decided to do a playthrough of Ruby's Rebalance for Halo soon. So, that's going to be in the works. We're going to be doing that. MechWarrior DLC comes out on the 30th. We're going to be doing that. I want to fill in. Probably might play a playthrough of Stellaris. Might do that. I suck at that game, so yeah. Shoot, man. So I've already got started here. You can kind of see what I'm doing, everybody. I mean, I have no like real design language here that I'm sticking with. I still haven't figured out how I want to change the back here. This is gonna be the ideal because let's go to, how do I pull up? Oh yeah, it's F10. That's I keep forgetting. We're gonna browse and we're gonna put, because here's what has to fit: drop pod. I'm gonna create my own variant. Yeah, pretty much that right there. Not like a full on not like a full on drop pod like you would start out with, if I could speak. Just kind of like let's see, I'm going a very Halo style, so let's type in did I just run? Okay, there we go. Where's the drop pod at? Yeah, like something like this. So let's click on it. This is a B. Okay, now let's for it. Let's do that. If I can learn to tap. So yeah, something along the lines of this. But I'm going to use, obviously it's a little bit wrong. I'm going to use a different shape and stuff, but this ship has a stubby tail. Hey, it's so cute. Well, that's because it's going to fit something like this. So as you can see, mine's going to be a tad smaller. So the way I've designed it is there's going to be 3 of them. And this is going to save a lot of weight, actually, because I've cut off a lot of stuff. Because there's just going to be railings here. And this is light armor. I haven't figured out how I'm designing this yet. This is just a placeholder. But the ideal is I'll have these right here. Obviously, they're a little, but they'll be like that. But they're going to be different. This isn't my design. This is just a placeholder. And what'll happen is you'll walk along the catwalk. You'll get in one. And instead of having to take the whole frigate down, you'll just to the planet's surface. And because the encounters, that's vanilla encounters. I keep trying to turn them off and they won't go away. It's bugged out. But let's see. Let's go get rid of that. That's the ideal. And the way this will also work is the drop ship will be able to land up here because there was never engines up here anyways. And because the drop ship has an antenna on it, you will be able to remote in on the antenna and take and bring the drop ship down. And if you want to do that, and so that'll be how this system's going to work. Or this could simply be escape pods. So there'll be escape pods just in case you're crashing, because you still have this space right here for a vehicle. I'm going to probably bring this out some more. I just haven't decided on how I want to do this. Geez, I need some sunlight up here so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, right there. And yeah, that's going to have to come out a little more. I don't know how. See, I want to bring that back a little. I want to kind of use the front design. But so it's those blocks, and it goes back to right there. Then that levels back out to 2 blocks apiece. Why is that miscolored too? And it goes back out to here. And yeah, that'll work. I mean, that'll work theoretically. So let's grab number 3. I'm not sure exactly how I want to do this though. So I'm going to do something like that. This is going to have to be changed, but I don't want to change that part. Let's see, how far do I want to bring that? I probably want to bring that out even further. Kind of. Not really. See what blocks I got here. This thing wasn't designed around this. Sorry if I sound nasally. My allergies are going crazy again. I'm probably sound like crap right now. No. Man, you don't want allergies. Let's see. No, that's not the block I'm looking for. Sure. Not that one's not it. Which one is it? No, it's not that one either. Maybe it's M5. There's a block I'm looking for that blends this together. Probably in 3 actually. Where is it? That's it right there. I do believe that's it. Well, so I need to go the opposite way. So it needs to go inward. That's probably actually in 2, ain't it? No, because that's for that one. Is there not a block for that goes inward? I thought for sure there was. There's one that goes out, but there's not one that goes in. Interesting. At least if there is, I don't know about it. Shows how much I play Space Engineers. So I look like an idiot. What would be a good block to round this off with? What would be? I figured at first it'd be this one, but then I was like, which I mean, you know what? If I did do that, let's see. We might be able to blend this right here. If we go like that, and then we go like here, and we grab. I do believe this situation can be saved. Not that one. Not that one at all either. Okay, so that one's not gonna work either because of that reason right there. I know that. Where's it at? This one will work. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. And I don't want to bring it to a point because there's really not any points on this craft. The Ponticus shall bow before my ultimate might. Let's see. Let's go here. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Okay, so maybe, but those side flares are gonna have to change. I might end up having to change that whole part. The only way that I'm gonna get away with this part right here is if I find a way to blend it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to change the side. I mean, I don't want to do that, but if I have to do that, I will do that. It can't go like that. It's got to be where here, and to continue the same kind of design language it's got. Let's see here. Where's this at? Oh my gosh. No. I wish this thing wouldn't do that to me right there. See, it's kind of going to be like that, but not like that because those flares stick out way. The back's going to have to be changed definitely. So if the back's being changed and it's say called, we can delete everything here. And do the same thing over here. Oh man. So let me get a good look at this. Yeah, this is gonna be the clay. Here is an opportunity to actually do something cool. Yep. And yep, this is going to, this might actually work. This might actually work if let's see here. This might actually work. Let's see. Oh gosh, I need my jetpack so I can fly around. If I can actually somehow, did I delete that part? Okay, no, I didn't. Bring that backwards. Let's delete that one and delete that one. That might have to end up being deleted. We'll see about that. But yeah, let's place one there. Is this still all? Okay, that's all there. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is gonna be the change I need. So because this will still come out to an end. Let's see here. Let's go here. And good thing I got symmetry turned on. Otherwise, I'd lose my ever-loving mind on this one. You know what? I'm thinking instead of doing it like that, because I haven't got my mind made up yet on how I want to do this one. I'm thinking that we can actually extend it out some more, like this one. Oh gosh, yep, like so, and we can just continue to taper that back. Perfection. Oh man, there's that one. But I'm gonna have to figure out something to do here. So we're gonna have to, please still all be intact. Yes, you are. Okay. So we're probably gonna have to actually then do this and do this and do this. Dude, my allergies. Okay. The problem with doing it like that is now I'm gonna run into the issue of that, which means I have to kind of bring that back. So that's gonna stop right there. I know with the standard blocks here, we could make a lot of this work like that, and then like that. But we need that block there, so we might actually have to go back to that. I'm going to have to find a way to blend that. That's a number 5 block right there. I know it is. Yep, it's this one. Nope, it's the other one. This one. Yep, it's that weird block. I don't kind of like that shape because you can always see it. Like, even though it's smoothed out, like you can see how it creates this kind of bend. I kind of hate that, but there is no way around that because you got this angle that goes like this, so that's literally the only block that fits that. Alternatively, you could, let's see, does that, yeah, so alternatively you could do something with that, and I might try it right here. The ideal way to do it would be like that, but when you do that, you lose that unless you go with the number 4 again and you grab this piece. Then you can kind of taper that back like that. But if I do that, I'm going to have to, let's see, where is it at? There is a block I'm looking for, and I can't remember which one. Oh my gosh, I can't see where this thing's at. Right, there we go. Well, that's not what I'm trying to do. That's the problem you run into with that, ain't it? got the angle piece there. So sad. Um, the only way you could logically fix that is if you bring that forward, cut that piece, and I think it's the number. Yeah, it's the number 5 block I need. Now, what you end up doing when you do that is you see how it takes off that V shape that was there, so it don't go like that no more. But you kind of do lose some of that angle. There's really nothing you can do about that. After all, this is Space Engineers. You still get the taper to some degree, although that right there's not attached to it. If it is, I'm amazed. So after, like, you do get somewhat of that like angled degree, which is going to allow me to actually go back to that design I wanted to keep. But I mean, I don't know if this is going to work on it. I might have to put something there to fix that. So that's going to allow me. So what I got to do now is come down here, and all we did was let's do that, and then in front of that one we want. Where's the number? I think it was number 4. It was the nope. This one I think is the one we used, like that. And then we used number 3. We used the point, as I call it, the point. Now we deleted this block right here, and we put down that block. Then we need, it's back to number 3 with us on this one, and we're going to grab this block right here. Is it? Yeah. But I gotta get it in the correct orientation. Oh my gosh. Oh. Here you go, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so we do got that, and then we can go back to number 5. Come on, bro. I just want to, yeah, like that, please. And that kind of keeps the shape, you could say. But now we got a whole nother issue. The design would have to change, right? So, and what I mean by that is all this would have to be cut out, right? Let's see. Because we're changing the design now. This just wouldn't work. Which is fine. Because what we're doing is that, like, theoretically you could work with this part right here. I need to grab these pieces. You could just turn this part right here into what you need, but obviously that ain't gonna work. Okay, so let's see here. We'll work on the interior a bit later. What I'm wanting to do is we could extend it now and give it some like wing flare. Let's see if we can. Work on that. Okay, so if we're going to do it like that, okay, yeah. So we now we have to switch to this block to kind of keep that going, and now we can get a kind of a preview of what that would look like. So that's 4. Let's go back 5, because it's going to have to go back 5 because we need room. Oh my gosh, where did I just put that? Oh, right there. If we're going to go back, then you go back 5. And I mean, because we need room for the drop pods. And unless we're only going to have one. If we're only going to have one, then this space right here is pretty much all we need. But if we're going to have more than one, then yeah. And there's no way for me to... I was actually going to try to put a welding wall up in here, or a welding wall, but there is no room. I thought I had room, but I do not. I would have to severely redesign the ship from the jump drive, because the nearest conveyor is up here. I would have to run everything through, and then there's no way to fit welders in this thin wall until you get all the way back to that room. So all those rooms would have to be cut out and changed, and I just can't be bothered to do that. Not for some drop pods. I can just build them at the base and then manually put them in here. Let's see. What is this going to look like? Let's see. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great either, right? We're gonna delete this part too. Again. Because I believe I can fix that. Let's go back to 3. I believe that this part right here should go here. Yeah. And that will allow me to continue that. Now I just gotta find a way to appease this part right here, which was actually right in my hand. Right there, and then right there. And if I'm doing that like that, I mean, we're going to get some sort of... We gotta try to blend this in, right? Main problem is when you're dealing with space engineers, you kind of gotta use the blocks to make the shapes you need. The whole back of this thing's gonna end up looking different. I didn't intend on doing that, but that is the result we're going to get. That's some pretty steep angles. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Too much. But what may not be is if I can end this right here like that. And I can, because if I go back and I grab this point, which is the go, just throw this point on there, and that might actually work out to our benefit. And geez, I need the sun. So, oh no, I hit the wrong button. What did I do? 1 second. Yeah, my character. There we go. Okay. I accidentally started my other recording thing that I use for some thumbnails and stuff, and then it also took me on my character. But we are back. So what I'm thinking here, I'd like to keep that design, right? If we're going to have the drop pods, because like, let's see, there's either multiple ways I could do this. I need Alt F10 because I need the sun to come back right there for a minute. So my thought on this is so the ideal is if I'm going to put them in here, I'm definitely going to need that room, because that's a 3x3, and I need more than 1 block clearance for them to be able to like do that. And I mean, I could get away with some half blocks, right? Like I could always do this, which was one of my original ideas, because they won't actually collide. That's plenty of room for it, because I mean, like, they're just a little over 1 block in each direction, so it would just be like that. And I mean, actually, I'm kind of digging that. The problem with that is I would have to do that, and then I don't know what to do with that. And also like you get this kind of like this kind of looks like it's from Warhammer 40K, which is not the theme I'm going for. So there's that. And I don't know what to do about that in that regard. There's not much you can do about that. Most of it's right here on the end anyway. So what I was originally going to do was kind of create this like this structure effect right here, but then again I realized, oh no, oh well, don't do that. Come on. It runs into the same issue of I don't really know if I like that. I'm not too keen on that, you could say. I mean, after all, we could just kind of like come on. Is that okay? Yeah, it's still attached. All right, so let's grab that and we attach it, and so like that kind of works. Then again, kind of looks cool from the top. It would definitely look cool from the back, I could guess you could say. We're not trying to make a hanger here, but if we do that, what we're doing, and the whole problem with that is you're not going to fit the dropship in here, right? You're just not going to do it. So we know that's not going to work. The only other thing we could do is just forego the dropship altogether. Or create some sort of landing pad up here for it, which was another thought of mine. Is like if the dropship's got connectors, right? Or if the dropship has landing plates, magnetic locks, you could lock to that easy enough. The whole problem, one thing I'm having here is the ship wasn't designed with a drop pod in mind, and I'm trying to retrofit it to fit one. That's kind of what looks cool. But then again, we're kind of negating that we actually need. We actually need that space right there for the drop pod, right? Which is fine. I mean, we got enough. Especially like right here. It's just a side, so like you would have enough right there for one to launch. Like I mean, they literally your character. It's not much bigger than your character. So, but what I would like to do is find a different block or a different way to feel that, because like I kind of like that right there, right? That I'm kind of liking that. It needs a bit more detail in some regard. I don't know what it is. Right here's definitely the room for the drop pods. If we like right there's definitely the room I'd like to have, because then I could stick a rotor in here, right? And you could have them on the side. So like the rotor would have one attached here and one attached back here, and then you would have room. That's room for two right there, 2 or 3. But then again, we run into this. I think also one key thing is because I don't like that, probably we could get rid of all this. Again, I'm just kind of brainstorming here, guys. I like that right there. Like that don't look bad, but then we end up with this hard cut right here. And I don't like that. So, I mean, theoretically, I could drop a half block in there. That kind of helps. But we're still in the issue of what do we do with this up here. And I was thinking, I don't think there's a way or a block that would let me outside of this one that would let me actually do anything with this space. So, I mean, we could hit it with that block like that right there and then come back. Let's see. Yeah, we could do that. I mean, you kind of start losing the whole design of the ship, right? Like, It's so hard to continue to follow this design, but yet create a drop pod bay back here. It's much harder than what I thought it would be. Then again, the key play here might be to leave that like that. Take out all this. Let's see here. What block is that? That's okay. I mean, kinda, but not really. We need to chop at least this off one more time. So like it would have to go like that, and then our true blocks would start. Just gotta find a way to, like that. Go ahead and immediately start into the taper. Might be a little bit better of an ideal. Don't give it too many flat spaces. I mean, I kind of like that. Don't know how the profile's gonna look on that. I mean, I kind of get what's going on here. So if I continue to do this, oh gosh, oh, he's shooting at, who's he shooting at? Who's he shooting at? Which one did he fire at? Okay, it's a good thing. Just a good time to test the shield. Oh, that happened. Did they damage it? Those shields actually held up pretty well. Those shields held up pretty well, didn't they? Okay, so controls see that. I probably should. It's gonna fly away. I'm not too worried about the damage up front. Like once I get the. What was that? Was that like some suicide drones? Let's see. I'm not too worried about the way that they just damaged the bottom of that. I mean, ooh, okay. Now I suddenly like. I just need to figure a way to fix this in here. I still can't get over them doing their suicide attack. This might be. Okay, now that ruins it. I love the way that comes back, but it ruins the structure of this thing. I really don't know what I want to do with it. Obviously, I need to put a block in there for right now. Let's do the same thing on the bottom, maybe. Go ahead and start tapering that in. I mean, I could. So it would be right there. It would also have to. Ooh, that's not gonna work. Okay, it'll work. We just gotta get rid of these. Oh my gosh. Now it lines up immediately after I pull it out of there. Okay. That's kind of cool, right? See, now what's going to happen is if I grab these and we go delete and we go delete. Actually, let's delete the inner side first. Like, I kind of like that. Kinda. That could be made to look much cooler, obviously. I'm thinking maybe the key is don't give it such a large hanger bay. This is gonna be in the way. Let's go ahead and chop that one out of there. So let's see. Let's take this, put it there, and then now a half block. Where's our half blocks? Okay, let's take a. Obviously, I'm wanting to remove that. My whole problem is here, and here's my problem. Like, so you could easily design that. That's not bad, right? No, you're kind of cooking with that right there. Like you could easily like still fit stuff in here, kind of. I like this new angle like I got going on right here. That looks dope. Especially with that jump drive just and that shield generator just hanging down there like that. I could forego a lot of this stuff, right? Obviously, like I gotta have my stairs and stuff to get up there. That's an easy fix right here. That's just bringing those blocks in, and then right here, I just need more of these half-armored blocks like that. That's fine. We got that. That's good. That's golden. That don't actually look half bad. The whole problem with this design is, right? So like I want some which actually this is actually what I was thinking about is earlier is of what if I don't have them in there. Because like what if I put the rotors right here and the drop pod right here on the outside and you walk up like a catwalk, right? Like this catwalk there, they continue out and you use this space for more catwalks. You walk out here, like on a catwalk like this. This is open. You get in your drop pod, which would put you like this. And then you go, whee! Like that, away from it. That is probably the best scenario I can think about. Because what's going to happen is if I try to put them in here, right? So, like, the structure of the ship is right here. Like you can't. This is all interior space from like right there forward, and even down the bottom. Like there's interior space and there's thrusters right here. Like you can't make a hole for the drop pod to launch out of the bottom right there. You just can't. Like you would literally have to change from here back. Like you would have to redesign the whole thing. The only other way. And this kind of looks cool. I'm kind of digging that. It actually looks kind of cool. The only other way to do this right is have them drop pods on the side and extend that out and just cut the hanger bay. I mean, you could always just like, if you brought your ships up to the side right here, like this, you could always just dock to the side, right? And you would easily be able to pack them. So it's not like you can't pack a starship. You could pack a starship on the sides. You could actually still pack two. Um, that's not an issue. The whole issue is how do you fit in order for this to work. The hangar has to be cut. Like, and there's no way around that without making the ship look ugly as which I'm not willing to do. Aesthetic over function always. If I'm flying it, it's got to look pretty. Let's see here, we can do that on each side. How does that look up there? I mean, like, I don't like it, but it's something's got to happen. Can I turn this off? I can't see anything. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is just redesigning the inside. So if we're going to do that, we could, because what would happen here, I'd actually be able to cut these two and go full light blocks, because we don't need the whole reason I had those in there was for the hangar space, right? Actually, you can still use this to access stuff like that. But if we're doing that, how will that look? I'm obviously not going to keep that because I'm going to run these catwalks. Where's the catwalks at, by the way? Engineering's going to have to change. So let's see, we'll bring them out 1, 2, 3. There'll be a rotor right there, so nope. Okay. So that's how that would have to work. And that's ideal, is you get, so you still have engineering right there. I could put another sign down like at the end, like right here, right, since it's engineering. You come down right here, drop pods there, you get in it and you launch, and that would give 2. Obviously, that's not as many as I wanted. That's not a welding wall that can weld this up, because I mean you just don't have the conveyors for it or the space back here without, again, redesigning the whole ship. Because I didn't design this thing to have a hangar bay, it's not meant, or a drop pod bay, it's not meant to have one. So it's running into the issues of trying to retrofit one in. Okay, now no, that's not the one I want. That is the one I want, but it's not gonna work like I want it to because it's gonna do that right there. There's no way around that. Like, show you guys what I'm talking about. Like, see, that kind of looks cool. I wouldn't mind doing that. And then again, I'm kind of
Meteor storm inbound.
And again, this is just a test frigate, so if it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. So, like, obviously I would have to repaint that to match the scheme. And the problem is, let's see, we're out 3. I want to bring that out more. Yeah, because I want that not to be so cut right there. So what I'll do is I could always just kind of give this structural appearance, right? So we can go up here, we can do that, and we can... We could just test ideals tonight, guys. No, we can already tell we don't like that. Because this whole thing right here would have to be brought forward, and we're not doing that. So, let's delete all that. And then again, let's go here. And I'm going to copy the masters at this and see what. So, but because the engine pods end right there, right? So, because the engine pods end right there, you can't just end the ship right here. It looks funny, right? So there has to be something here. Now, what I could do for some extra boost, but I would have to redesign a lot of shit. Let's go to here and let's. I mean, like, that's not gonna work. I could build around that thruster. Yo, hey, Arpaxis. So I could build around that thruster and replace the hangar bay with one gigantic thruster. I mean, you could use it in many ways. You could kind of do a backflip, right? And use the reverse thruster to slow you down. You could still have your drop pods again. If the rotor's going here, you still have this opening. You still have the centerpiece. Technically, this would all be engineering at that point, and there would be no like exterior bay here at all. We would be completely foregoing that. So if I decide to do that, I definitely want to cover this thing in armor, cause without the armor, it's just asking to be detonated. which is fine. We can fix that. I don't mind leaving a bit of it exposed, maybe for some cool reasons, like we can expose a bit of that in a minute. But for right now, if we just stick to the ideals of this thing, this would fit here better, but I don't know if I want to keep doing that. Let's bring it down. This might be the play. Now see, that fixes the whole back being cut, right? It gives it shape back. Now I would just have to shape it. And you would have a gigantic rear thruster. And you would still get 2 drop pods. That was one of my original thoughts. That was one of my original ideals that I was aiming for. Because what I was going to do is, you could also like, this thing hates me. Okay, well we're just going to do it like that. Because it gives the same ideal. Like, you cover that in armor so it don't detonate, right? Like if one round hits it, for example, because it would take out the whole back of the ship. But if I can some way give that some design, you can kind of see that that's looking dope. Plus, it's going to give us some extra boost for some orbital burns. Because I mean, like, yeah. So there's that. If I was going to do that, let's see. I'd like to do that, and then like that, and then I mean, like, you get the picture of it. I could hook it up right there, which is how I wanted to do it. And then it don't need hooked up right there, but I could theoretically. But to fill this in right now, I'm wanting to fill this in to kind of get an idea of what this is going to look like. Dude, I need the sun. I need the sun back. It's getting cloudy over here. Okay, so there we go. And see, that would be your gigantic rear thruster. So we've essentially gave it actually more function. Because how often would you use a thruster compared to a hangar bay, right? This is actually going to give it some better combat capability too. Because you're going to be able to get some more speed faster. And I'm really thinking about going this way, honestly. Like, I am. I like that. I like that rear thruster right there. That's dope. I mean, hey, it is what it is. See if I can't figure out some way to give this thing a little bit of shape. I don't want to just leave it with an end here. I'd like to do something with this. Although I realize there's not much I can do. Due to the space that I have. Okay. I'm not so against that. That could work. Theoretically, I mean, you could put a connector up here and dock a ship up there. I mean, you have no way inside the ship, right? Unless you, like, and I mean, like, you could theoretically, like, have some, like, well, no, you can't either. Like, you could have a way, maybe, to get in there from up there, but that would be more redesigning the hangar bay, or well, future was hangar bay. I'm wondering what this would look like if I go full stop on this. It's not terrible. Especially if I brought the top out more. I can already tell that I'm gonna have to work on this, but I can tell this is the way I'm wanting to go. It fits the build more, having it done like that. It's just, I want to do something different here. And I can't, for the life of me, figure out what it is. Oh my god. Let's see. That's kind of cool. I don't know what I'm feeling about that yet. It definitely is going to need some greeble like that for this to even work. I think I got it in the wrong spot though. Instead of placing it on the end, what if I go like that and then oh, come on. Okay. It's not bad. That's not what I'm looking for personally out of it. I'm generally lost on what I want to do here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this tonight. I want to, but I'm lost on what I want to do, and I don't know. Like, I want something like that going on back here. Obviously that has to be fixed. Yeah, I definitely want something like that going on. I don't know if that right there is the way though. Cutting into the top kind of looks funny. Personally, to me, it kind of looks a tad goofy. I could always do that and break up that armor. I mean, I'm not totally against that right there. I just don't know what to do with that, right? It's kind of the thing here. The whole problem I'm having is like, well, that ain't gonna fit. The whole problem I'm having is like, I just don't know what I want to do with the back. As I design through this, like that right there is definitely the solution. I just don't know how I want to keep that shape. Cause like that would look cool, right? An extra large thruster on the back would look cool. And I guess the only real way to test if this is even going to work is cut that part right there out. Just drop that one in there. Drop that one in there. And this feels like the only way this is ever going to probably work. But then again, I might end up into something that makes this not even work at all without some designs. But we'll get into that. The good thing about if I do it like this is there's not much to redesign in survival, right? You see it like that? That gives it some like... That gives it some flair, right? It gives it some style. The problem with that right there is it's just got no direction. There's no reason for it. And then from the top it kind of looks goofy. I kind of just do not know what I want to do here. This is going to be a thinking man's game. But an extra engine is the way I was originally planning on going when I thought about this. And that's the way I'm thinking it's going to have to go. Because everything has to fit within the body of that frigate right there. And everything has to keep the same shape. I can't just design a new shaped hangar or a new shaped drop bay that don't fit the rest of the shape of the ship. Otherwise, it's going to look goofy as... Yeah, I don't want to do that. Let's see here. Kind of curious what happens if that does let me do that. Oh, nice. I think we just figured it out by accident. It's kind of a bit blocky, but it works theoretically. Where did I just place that? Where did I just... I felt that place. Oh my god, I placed a block and it's nowhere near... what's that? That's going to attack. Okay, well that means... Oh, whoa. Okay, so if I'm going to do that, and I want to do that right, I think the proper way to do that is to actually... give it some structure to it. Because, I mean, if you think about it, this is a gigantic rocket engine. And I gotta say, that's starting to look cool. Again, the drop bay would be here. So theoretically, what you could have is you got like a piston, right, that's facing this way. Like your pod, like this would be a small grid. And what would happen is a rotor with a small grid head, you would have a piston that come up here, right, and a piston that come down here. And then what you would do is you would have your pod, you would have so you'd have pistons that extend it, and you would have it raised up, right, on each side. Two pistons merge block together so they both hold the pod. They would, if you hit the button after you got in, they would extend it way out here, clearing that, and then you would launch. That would theoretically be the ideal. So I've kind of created an external drop bay. I would just have to figure out how to tidy this piece up right here, because if you look, that looks horrendous. There's ways I could do that, but there's ways I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm still not sure about this part. I make some progress, and I take one step forward, and I take a bunch of steps back. Yeah, no, we're not using any of those. So this right here is a problem, right? This right here is going to be the main thing that whether this works or not is can I figure that out? Because you're starting to look, that starts to take shape with the rest of the ship, if you can see that. So it's kind of like going into it. The problem is I'm curious. This part right here would have to be blended, and yes, theoretically I could blend it. I didn't want to do this, but I mean, because I've used so much of this shape, I don't want it to get too repetitive. What I could do is, if I use these, you still get the external bay effect of like there's like structure here holding the bay together, and you get that effect. But what you still end up with is you still end up with this point that I was trying to solve. I mean, could do that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but that sharp point that just sticks out right there freaks me out, man. I mean, that might work. We are redesigning the frigate to house a external drop bay, which I'm kind of liking, but this part right here is freaking my OCD out. Because those of you who don't know, I have OCD. And when I get locked in on something and I chase the rabbit, this is what happens. So like you can see, like, so could it be an engineer in space? So you see like these structure supports, right? Like I ain't got them properly colored yet. For anybody that's wanting to know, you see some not color right here. I haven't fully colored the frigate, even though I've been using it in survival. This is actually blueprinted from survival into this creative world. I haven't colored this yet, so this isn't the primary color. Like you can see right here where it's not colored. I'm using that as a placeholder gray for what I'm eventually going to do. So don't like freak out too much about the gray or the miscolorings. Like I'll go back and color it later, right? There's going to be a gray there, so the concrete stands out the most, but there's still like that's going to be gray. But what I've did is I've took this structural support, because you can see my OCD goes 1 block, 2 block, 3 block, 1 block, 2 block. You can see how everything is symmetrical on every build I do. So I extended off of that, like it would house also the hangar bay rails, right, or the drop pod rails. And what I would do is I'm going to put well, I can go ahead and do it right now. Let's get out of here. Okay. Now let's go grab our rotor. I can't remember where I actually have the rotors at. Yeah, right there they are. They're on 2. I don't know. It's been so long since I've been in here. It's been a long time. Okay, so let's go do that. Then we'll grab our armored plate because, oh no. Alright, well, we're not doing that. We're going to have to place the block, because if I can't place it there, that's going to freak me out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, let's go back to 3 and grab that rotor. Look, I can't complain about paint. I'm very bad at painting my ships. It's not that bad. It's, oh man, you see what's happened there? Which is kind of good. Fixable, but that wasn't an ideal thing to happen, but it might actually help us, because what that's going to do is allow us to do that. Oh wait, nope, that's the engine. The engine's there. Okay, so everything would have to stop right there. Okay, that works. This is fixable. So if you go here, you would add a small rotor head, and bam, you see that small rotor head? Let's go ahead and rotor lock this. Oh my gosh, please get off there. Okay, yeah. There you go. Bam. Okay, so now the ideal. Okay, so yeah, the ideal now is this is going to be where the pod sits, right? So like, if you go in here, which I'm going to have to re-add these. I'm redesigning this, by the way. Don't worry, this is all placeholders. So you would come out here, instead of this being where the craft used to sit, the drop ship, you would come out here. Because this is going to save so much fuel, right? You would come here. You would get in the drop pod. It would be facing you right here. And what this rotor, that's a small rotor head, it would have a piston, like it would have clamps going up, and then it would have piston on those clamps on each side that's been merge blocked that holds the rotor. So they're one separate grid, even though they're two pistons because they're merge blocked together. And you would get in the drop pod. You would activate the pistons. It would slide you along like this. And once you clear this, it would shoot you down towards the planet. And think of an ODST drop pod from Halo, and that's what would be sitting there. And now you effectively have a drop pod on your spaceship. That's cool. Well, I wouldn't really call it a drop pod as much as I would call it an escape pod, right? The ideal is if this thing's blowing up, like if it's currently like split, like it's like going nuclear, right? Like you've got to get off this thing. If you're close to a planet like this, you're going to survive, because in each drop pod inside the cockpit would be the required stuff to build a small large grid battery, a small assembler, and a few other things to get you started. So you would a small grid or small grid survival kit. I mean, so you have a small grid large battery, and the stuff for a small grid survival kit inside each drop pod stored. That way, when you left, no matter what planet you crashed on, you could build another survival kit, and you can instantly start going. Like, right, you don't have to like go back to base. Like, you can start building again right there, where you crashed at, or well, on the planet that you landed on because you was blowing up. So that's the ideal behind that. That's what this simple system does. It's a redundancy, because like it's not necessary. If you're like me, I play a lot of encounters, right? I play a lot of modular encounters, MES and shit. And when you play with MES, full stop, you're going to take damage, which is why I have a freaking shield generator on this thing, by the way. Actually, it just took a hit, and I need to repair that. Look what happened. Oh my god, I gotta fix that. How much other shit is broken down here? Nothing. The shield generator stopped the explosion, but not before it deleted half of my freaking entry bay. That's cool. That is light armor, right? I think it is. Yeah, that's all light. It should have been light anyways. Let's go back. I'm gonna have to reset the bottom door up too because of that. Probably a good time to actually save the blueprint on this thing too. I need. Oh man, I need a door. Okay, let's go get the door. Ooh, I can't remember which one it was. All right, where's my doors at? No, not those doors. Doors, not those doors. Doors. This one. So the ideal now is, because I got to replace this freaking door from a drone that tried to freaking kamikaze himself into this. Theoretically, it could sit like that. How's that open? I can't remember which door are you. Okay, yeah, because you'd walk in, you'd climb up. So that's all he did was he detonated a door. Freaking pirates. Right there. And that has that fixed. I gotta repaint it. Okay, so... Oh my gosh, I gotta have the sun, right? You can't paint without... You can't build without the sun. So, that's what the frigate's looking like right now. That's how it's changed. Get you guys a bit up close so you can kind of see how I've changed the back here. You can still fit ships on this thing. You can still fit one on each side. Like, you know, if you got a connector on the bottom, you can fly your ship up here. Or you can mag lock to that. And you could lock down right here, right? You could lock 2 ships on here. And you could still pack 2 ships to space. So it's not an issue there. And you get a large grid, you get a large thruster out of this, right? So you're getting some thruster action there. No, I want to go here. So what I got to do now is that's not going to work. Well, you bet that don't work. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Because I still got to be... Yeah, I don't like that. That freaks me out. Even though you can walk in and out, that freaks me the out. that's not happening. Oh my gosh, that's still there. Question is, do I like that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's... One way to tell if I'm gonna like that is... Put that there. Put that there. Because... You know what? I got a better idea. Where is... Okay, finally time to put this block to use, boys. Okay, let's see. I need the ladder. I know I got it somewhere. Right here it is. 4. Oh my gosh. Not that one. Not the ramp. The stairs, yeah. See? Perfect. And then you come up here. On each side, let's put one of those, and then we can, on this side, we can put the bar there, and then up here we can put the bar there, and that leaves the bar on the corners and around the wall. And so you come up like this, which that's going to be different. Shield generator. You come out here. I can actually pressurize this shit too. Watch this. Where's my doors at? I know I have a door, but I just forgot where it was at. And it was right there. Shows you how good my memory is. Got the mind of a steel trap. We want some cool doors. We don't want no fake crap. Look at that. On both sides. Now it's pressurized. Now you have a door at your drop pod bay. So you open that up to get to your drop pod or your escape pod. So this would be your escape pod hatch. Now this is pressurized. So you run up here, pick an escape pod, and abandon a crashing ship. Oh, I forgot. That moves in there, don't it? It does. I just gotta figure out what I want to do with that. Because to be honest with you, that's ugly as... Okay, what do I want to do? Oh, man. Also, guys, do stay tuned. I'm gonna be playing some Halo and stuff soon on the channel, some Star Wars and stuff. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be fun. Let's see. Where is? There's a block I'm looking for. It's an angled corner block. I don't know what it's called. Where's it at? Where is it? I know it exists. I have seen it with my own eyes. It's definitely not any of those. I know that for a fact. Which one is it? That's the lab vat. That's not what I'm looking for. Signal might be our best chance on these. Let's try a console module. Yeah, let's place it on the ceiling. Just joking, guys. Just joking. Nope. Nope. No. Okay, so that's not it. That's not it. That's not it either. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure this out. Trying to figure out what I want to do. How I want to do it. Don't know what I'm gonna do. It's not so bad. I like that. I could dig that. It breaks up that hard corner, right? I'm gonna need some lights in here though. I deleted them all. Oh man, chipped out. So what I still don't, that's got that problem solved. What I'm concerned about now, most, is I'm not fully bought in on this. There's a solution to that. That is just grabbing some like decorative pieces from heavy industry, something like this, and we can just flip it to the side. Flip it on its side, and it kind of looks like pipes. I'm not gonna lie. Pipe. Cause you gotta remember, we gotta refix this thing. Oh, that looks much cooler. I don't want to touch anything there. And then again, I want to fix that too, so I gotta find something to put there. So I can't just go around. I mean, theoretically I could go around doing that right there, but that's gonna not work for me. And I know this ain't gonna work either because I've already tried it. Yup, and it does not work because of that. Maybe it's on 4. Maybe my solution is on 4. No. Yeah. Okay. Maybe my solution is here. Somewhere, somehow. My solution. Like that right there would be fine, right? But it's not fine because then it's gonna mess with that. So that's not. But it's probably 5, maybe. Is 5 my solution? Ooh, so close. No cigar. I need something that's gonna blend with that. These blocks are saying I don't blend, son. Oh man. This has been one of the hardest things I've done, is try to retrofit this for this reason. I mean, theoretically I could... Oh, shoot. Theoretically, and this is a theory of mine, a theoricus, I could do that. And that does help with that. In a way. Not fully, but it helps. Because, I'm not gonna lie, if you can't do something with these corners, then you're in a situation of your own making. Which is why I've got to figure something out. I've got to figure it out. Okay, so what I could do is, let's see, where is those truss blocks? Let's type in truss, because I think, yeah, those round pieces are added in on here too. I knew there was a piece on here. I don't know if it'll fit on here anyway. It won't. That's what I was concerned about. It won't fit here either because of those. Jeez. Alright, that's going to be a problem. This is going to be a real problem. You seen that meme? He says, and you're a real problem. Like, you could do this right here. But you're in the way of your drop pod, right? Unless, let me show you guys cool something. If we do that, do you see how that's kind of breaking that up? We could put the pod to where there's also a piston that extends it just far enough out to clear that. So like you get in it right here. It slides down, which would be cool because it's going to seem automated. Not that close. To about right here at this block. And then it pushes, the other piston pushes it out. And then, bah! So, in theory, that would work. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's stupid? Do you think this part is stupid? I kind of like the way it's turning out right now. Low key, not gonna lie, it looks dope. Let's see. I just gotta figure this part out. I'm thinking that I can delete those. Hang on. What is this guy? Get out of here. Ow. My acid reflux is bothering me so bad. Okay, theoretically, this might work. Jeez, guys. Nah. I'm thinking maybe now is just the time to put a sharp corner on here. I'm thinking this is one of those times, if my OCD will let me, to kind of just pronounce this as the drop pod rail system. I like that because it gets rid of that sharp angle. I just don't like what it does here, which has to be fixed. I don't know if there's a block to fix that. Oh man, what did I just delete? Okay, I don't know what I deleted, but I know I deleted more than one block. It's no good. Okay, these blocks are so weird, they have to be... There it was. So that would go in like that. Do I like that? Which one do I like better? And here's where I can kind of look at this and try to tell which one you guys like better, the bottom or the top. Stick with the bottom or stick with the top? Bottom. Top. Bottom. Top. Don't know. Don't know. So let's see, when we build this, we'll have to cut from this block forward, from under that, now. Jeez, I don't know which one I like better. Let's stick with the bottom. I'm thinking that's the play. I just don't know yet. Just do not know yet. Let's see, we can place that there. Where's it at? There it is. Much cooler. Not the one I'm looking for. What happens if I bring the... No, that's definitely not what I want to do. So we've already got pretty far, right? I would say so. We're already like we're already like on the design. Now we're just on the greeble part, which I don't know if I want to keep these things right here. I kind of do, but then again, I don't know. Look at this. This guy's over here floating around, floating around like a crazy man. That didn't actually add that over there, did it? Let me see that. No, it didn't. This part of it. Yeah. Okay. Well. For some reason, because it did not want to work last time, we're going to go back and get that rotor over here, do the same thing. The rotor said me no like that spot. Throw that off there. Good thing we got this build vision, because we can my rotor head, and then we can rotor lock. And there we go. Okay, so that'll be 2 escape pods. 2 escape pods first to have on hand to launch the vehicles. I'm kind of digging the back of this. I don't know if I want to keep it like that. I kind of do. I kind of like the shape of it. It blends well. I do want to put something here though. I don't know if I want to keep this here. Honestly, I don't know yet. I'm not sold on that. How's the top profile look? The top profile looks much better than the previous. If I can get the sunlight back, thinking it looks okay. Yeah, so that the back of that looks much better. Look at that, than the previous hangar bay. See how it tapers in as it goes, tapers in right there, and tapers into more of a, instead of it just coming back and stopping, right? Which wouldn't be bad if the engine nacelles were back further, but because the engine nacelles ain't back further than what they are, which I mean I could do, right? But I don't want to. Like, you could easily, actually, then you could save space like that. You could bring those engine nacelles back, make them a lot longer, run the conveyoring on the inside of them towards the wall, and put some. I mean, you wouldn't be able to fit much, but if you brought them all the way back, you could fit some atmospheric thrusters in them, which would give you much more lift. In atmosphere. And save on your hydrogen too. You could do that. I'm loving this thing, by the way. It's really coming together. I like that right there, because if you look at that. That's going to give you some thrustage. Some thrustage. That's what that is. That's thrustage. I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. Again, once this is all painted, it'll look a little better. I don't know what... I'm thinking that's done. I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it like that, because once I color it, like, actually, that's what we can go ahead and do. Let's go... And I'm just going to grab my camoage. Let's color that. Okay, I'm liking this so far. So you can kind of see now how just painting it has made it look so much better, right? Like you're going to be able to see, like, again, I don't know if I'll keep this superstructure support showing. Like, I do want to keep that showing. I would like to keep that showing all the way down through there, because it gives it this look of supports, right? But I just don't know. And it's kind of the same thing with this. It needs to be camoed. Which makes me want to camo that. Because if I do, it blends so much better. But by camoing that, that's a support problem. All I could do though is change up the way these supports look. Leave them in the gray, and they can kind of. What I could do is, if I continue down this line of thought, that might actually help the hanger bay calls out a bit right here. Actually, it's a good time to repaint this too. Because now what I can do is, if I'm going to do that, so see, painting it helps a lot too. Painting your builds makes, if you paint in the right spots, it can help you out. It can help you out. Obviously I'm going to change some stuff there. I'm thinking what's best to do here is to kind of maybe make a circle around this and then paint this inside gray. And the reason I say that is because normally I like to paint the over armor camo, because then it gives the under armor structural look. But in this case, the way the lines are on this, it's just, oh man, look at them shooting the meteors down. Like, see how that structural look returns now? That's one thing I may end up doing. I'm not sure yet, because it does then mess with the structural look up here, and I don't know if I'm sold on doing that yet, which is not a bad thing, because theoretically, if I wanted to do that but keep the top look, all I would have to do is go here and grab these, if I can get the half pieces back right here. Go here, grab these, and now I get my top gray back. Like, I could do that right there. I could even, that gives me more options for painting it, right? Because now I can go here, and I could do kind of like that. And, or, like, just try things out here, because now it's not going to paint the top. we can give it a whirl. But then again, I'm just not sure yet. Not sure on what I'm going to do here. I'm leaning heavily towards something like that, but changing it up just a teensy bit. Let's see. What if we see, if I do that, I'll have to paint the whole outside of this thing, because it's got to be, you have to have it in kind of a uniform pattern. I do like that now. See how that's kind of turned out? Because what that's given is it kind of looks like this part isn't like superstructure, and then like you can see this, it's like the superstructure starts coming back out of the frame right there, as you can see it going in the frame right there, and then it disappears like it does up here. Like you can see how like it looks like it's coming out of the frame, right? Now's a better time than ever to hit those. Like you can see it right here. It looks like it stops. The superstructure just looks like it comes out of the frame, right? Just I'm not sure about this block yet. I've got to figure something out for that right there. May end up being lights, honestly. Some kind of armor panel maybe. Armor panels usually work good in certain scenarios. You can't never deny a good armor panel plate. They are easy to shoot off and screw up your builds if you've got a lot of them like just tinkered about. But right, they can be good. So it could just end up being like that. Just some like wings for it. We'll see. Like I could even go, let's go 3 on the wings. Kill the top part here. Let's try to see if maybe, just maybe, we can get away with that. And yes, this thing should still be connected. Okay. This might be my solution. Wings. Wings never hurt. And then, I mean, like, theoretically, like, if I was going to do that, like, if I was going to bring all them wings out all the way like that, I could start doing this, you know. We do lose the taper of the engine a little bit. Then again, maybe that's just something that, like, you know, needs like that. Like, who knows? But there's so many things we could do with this. I'd like to have the lights. Where's my lights? I don't have them anymore. Okay, well, there's plenty of other blocks we could try. This block lines up with those perfectly. Let's see. What do we got here that we can work with? No, no, definitely don't want to do any of that. But you can kind of see what I'm going with. Like, now we're back to the engine. Like, you can see right here where we're at now. There's obviously going to be some painting going on. I like this better. This is going to give us a lot more boost. Which is kind of a side effect of this. Let's see. I don't know how I want to play this part, though. This is really the key right here, is what am I going to do about this. Once I get this back part figured out, right here where the engine's at, we're going to be good, because then all I got to do is, like, you know, set the drop pod up. How's that look from the side? Like okay, yeah, it still keeps its same cool side profile. Front still good. And then if you go to the back, a little too much gray back here, but that's all right. We can end up fixing that. And it goes back to this big thruster. That's cool. I like that. I'm thinking some lights right here is the key. That's what we got to figure out. Let's see, if that ends up being the case, then some of this is going to be a bit easier to work with. The drop pod bay is done. I'm definitely going to keep this kind of ideal right here, because it also just works with the interior. I just have to put my re-engineering sign down. I don't have to touch any of this. I don't have to touch any of this. All that stuff still works. I just have to put an engineering sign down right here, like okay, that goes to engineering. Do something right here with some lights, and that's gonna be it for this live stream today, guys. I've been live for 2 hours. I'm sorry I was late on the content. There's gonna be some Halo content in the morning. I'm gonna start having certain days for certain things, certain days for Space Engineers builds, and then like maybe that evening for a Space Engineers survival series. Probably like 3 days a week on that. And then mix in some Halo, mix in something else. My MechWarrior DLC comes out on the 30th this month, so I'm going to be streaming that, but that's still a while away. But we are still going to be doing a lot of Space Engineers on the channel. I just want to give a variety of content for you guys to watch. If you guys are enjoying the channel, you are enjoying the content, like and subscribe really helps me out. I might end up playing some Stellaris on the channel. I don't know. I'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I got to brainstorm some ideas for the back of this frigate, right? On what I want to do here, whether I want to do like a wing style like that, or whether I want to do something else. And I do really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and this has been Cyberhound, signing off.